Hey guys, what's going on? Today we've got Dave over here in the hot seat. So we're gonna ask Dave 5 gaming questions
Oof.
and see how he answers them. He doesn't know what the questions are.
You're gonna ask me like characters from RPGs, and I'm gonna be like,
Yeah,
just
exactly.
don't know.
Yeah, what Dragon Quest?
Who's that guy? I don't even know the name of the guy who held the sword in FF7. I'm sorry, I don't.
There you go.
All right,
So I'll delete that question. So first question: rank the NES Mega Man games from best to worst. Okay. So there's 6 of them. So I want to know what your order is, and then I'm gonna come at you with
that's
my
easy.
Order.
Okay, so 2.
Okay.
3.
Yeah.
5. 4. 6. 1.
Okay, you're almost right.
Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Almost correct.
Okay.
So
that was just off the top of my head. I think I was halfway through, and I'm like, wait, I don't know.
So
by the way, I have more love for 4 than 5, but I think it's still good.
Okay. Yeah, 4 I'm kind of nostalgic for too. So I also picked 2, although I for a while thought 3 was better. Like the graphics and sound, like they really amped it up.
They messed up the title screen when they had that little
that
just ruins the game.
But the funny thing is, I watched a video about someone comparing them, and they talked about how it was like unfinished because apparently they were like rushed to complete it.
Oh, really?
So I actually found like the first 8 Robot Masters are good, and then they do like that weird where you go back and fight the Mega Man 2 guys, and then the Wily stages are just really random. Like it's like they threw them together, like, and I forgot about that. So yeah, I'd say 2 is still the more complete game. So I'm 2, 3. I like 6 next because I like the whole jetpack and like the power ups. Everyone hates 6, and I'm going by like what I think is the better game. So I'm 2, 3, 6, then 4. Then 5, then 1.
Oof, that's wrong. That's wrong.
Like you were almost right, but
you were almost right as well. Interesting how we both chose 1 as the last one, and
well, like it was really good for when it came out. Though. When you think of what else was coming out when that came out, like they just needed more time.
There's some problems with it. Like you have to get that. There's the hammer or something.
Well, it's that platform. That's and so if you get to a Leckman stage without Gutsman, you don't get that power up, and then you get like I remember Red Ticket getting stuck there, and I was like,
the Rockman dude that goes back and forth.
So hard.
It's hard. It's not even hard. It takes forever.
Well, yeah,
and you're just like, all right, let's go. Anyway, great games. Good question. Really good question. Really enjoyed that.
You almost answered it correctly. Let's try again.
Okay.
Okay. Number 2. Which retro game would you like to see get an HD remaster? So I mean, basically, it's the same game. They just soup up the graphics. Like
I mean, I'm gonna say what I talk about a lot. I'm gonna say Shatterhand for the NES.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I know it's not a long game. I know it's not like choosing like the original Zelda or whatever. But like I think that game. I love platformers. It's a lot of fun. It's the power up system is really cool, and I think it'd be cool to have an HD version of that game.
I think on a technical level, that's like the best game on the NES. Like, there's not much better.
The music is so good.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so imagine it like rearranged and everything, like with like, modern.
So I think that'd be cool. Yeah, what's yours?
The funny thing is, I actually picked the original Zelda.
Choosing like the original Zelda or whatever, but like
see, but like do it in like Link to the Past or Link Between Worlds graphics, or like when they remade the one for the Switch, the Game Boy one, Link's Awakening. Like I'd love to see the first one just.
No, because that's the graphics that everyone loves now.
Yeah,
and that's why it came to my head. I'm like, I think the Zelda game would be better, and like, but I didn't want to choose.
That's literally what I put down.
So there you go. So I'm glad I didn't choose. If I had chosen that though,
so you were close. Yeah,
that would have been cool.
Yeah.
All right.
So Shatterhand was a great pick. Okay, next one. One retro gaming item you would most like to add to your collection. So if you could add one thing to your collection, money is no object.
Yeah, you know what's funny?
And you have to keep it. You can't it's not like, oh, I want a sealed stadium event.
No.
It or something like that.
Oh yeah, I'd probably just if I got a sealed stadium.
Obviously, if that came into the store, we'd be dumping it.
Joe would be like, "We're gonna sell this." I'm like, "Yes, we are." So an item that I would want to add to my collection, a retro item. So I think for accessories, I'm good. I don't really need an accessory. Like I've got all the accessories I want. I'm really thinking NES and Super right now.
Yeah. Or it could be like completing a game you already own, but it'd be cool if you pick something that Like, yeah, I'm thinking like if something comes into the store, you're like, Joe, I have to have that. Like, you can't have it. I'm having it. It's
Yeah,
not touching the
and
shelf.
it's weird, right? Like I think like one of the most sought after games I always wanted was Panic Restaurant.
Okay,
And
yeah,
so I feel like if that game came in, I'd be hard pressed not to keep it.
yeah, yeah,
I will say like maybe like a distant two would be a box for Yoshi's Island,
yeah. Okay,
because I for the Super Nintendo, because that's my favorite Super Nintendo game.
yeah,
So either one of those,
okay.
and I
Cool.
know what yours is.
Yes, so mine would be Big Box Earthbound. So
Yeah.
because I actually remember renting it from Blockbuster, in Canada. So maybe you were working there at the time.
Mm-hmm. I
But
worked at the one in the South End. Sorry, buddy.
Oh, did you?
I
Okay.
didn't venture to Canada. It was too far.
But they gave you like they actually gave you like the strategy guide with it, because the guide
Which
was
is
kind
worth
of
like hundreds of
yeah,
dollars now.
but the guide was like kind of like an integral part of like the game experience, because there was some like obtuse stuff in that game where you kind of like they basically wanted you to play it with a player's guide. They were trying to get people
I think the
into
scratch
RPG.
and snips as well.
And then there's like these cards that had scratch and snips.
Yeah.
So when you see the guide for sale that has the card still in it, then it's worth more money. Because like if I was a kid, I would have taken those
for sure.
out,
Yeah,
like
like kind of like when posters are removed from Nintendo Power magazines. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So like I would love to add like a pristine big box Earthbound.
Cool.
And it's not because I think it's it's a game I really enjoyed, but it's more like I just remember renting it and holding it and seeing it. And I remember they were clearancing it at like Zellers for like next to nothing, and I should have bought one, but or I should have bought it when it was like $500. Now it's like even more. So
yeah, that's like every collector's like, man, if I had it, I wish I had. I wish, you know.
Anyway. But it's not really like because it's worth money. It's just something I've always wanted.
Yeah.
That just happens to keep going up in price.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Good question again.
I don't know how you're gonna answer this one.
Wait,
so.
I want to pause for a second, because I do want to say, like, back in my heyday of collecting, I mean, I obviously wanted Flintstones, dinosaur, like it's
but besides when we wanted everything,
I wanted that, but like
now.
But I wasn't gonna mention that. I was actually gonna say that the deluxe set, the original deluxe set with the Rob the Robot in the box, because that box is so cool. For the longest time, I wanted that box. I have a Rob and I have all the accessories.
Yeah.
But I wanted that box. Okay. That was like something I don't want it right now, but like that was like high on my list.
One of your grails, eh?
It was one of my grails in a weird way, because it was like the original, right?
Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah, that's awesome. So next one, first console you bought on launch day, and if you haven't, which one did you buy the soonest after it was released?
Okay, so I never purchased a console on launch day. I mean, I think for me, so my NES was a gift. Super Nintendo, I traded in the NES to get the Super Nintendo. I bought an N64 maybe 2 years after release. So I wouldn't say that was quick. I think the PS1.
Yeah,
I bought the PS1 brand new. Actually, PS1 was the first system I bought brand new.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah.
And I bought it.
Perfect.
I've mentioned this. I think I mentioned this in the Christmas episode, but I bought it on Christmas Day from Blockbuster. I worked there, and they gave us they saved the tax that day.
Okay.
So it should have cost like $230. It cost $200.
And how long had it been out for? Probably like a year then.
Probably a year. Like I knew, like I think it was about a year.
Yeah.
And,
okay.
I was really pumped to get that system.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
So for me, again, like I didn't have money to buy stuff when it came out, so I had to like rely on my parents to buy it for me. So it wasn't going to be right away. But it was the Wii. So when I saw the video of the Wii with like the motion controls, I was pretty hyped. And like it was I finally had like a full-time job, and actually had like I was still living with my parents, so I actually had like money I could go spend on something. And so I remember we actually camped out at the Superstore in Bridlewood.
Wow.
And they had a thing on the wall saying they were getting 10 of them. And I remember my buddy Paul and we were like basically planning to camp out there, and we drove by at like 5:00 in the afternoon, and there was already like 4 people in line. And I was like, oh crap, like we gotta. So like we went home, we like got stuff. I had like an air mattress. I had like an old laptop. This is like 05.
So you knew it was coming out that day?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Or the next day, I guess.
Yeah, and we actually like camped out for it. And then I remember in the morning, they around like 6 a.m. a bunch more people came. So actually we could have like went there at like 5 in the morning and got a spot.
Yeah.
Because it was like 4 guys, Paul and I, and there was one other, I forget the other guy that came with us. It was like one of Paul's buddies came with us. There was 3 of us. And then like at 5 a.m. there still wasn't 10 people in line. So, but it was just fun. Like I remember like one of us leaving and going to like Little Caesars to get pizza, and like we were playing like frisbee and football to stay warm because it was like November. It was cold.
Yeah.
And then there was like 30 people in line, and then like I remember there was like this one dad who like kept trying to go to the front of the line, and we were like, we've been here, like go to the back,
go away.
Yeah,
go away, dad.
And I remember I actually had a crowbar with me because the week before the PS3 came out, and there was reports of people getting robbed while they were like,
wow,
because people were just like, oh, there's all these people here. Yeah,
what's wrong with people?
Yeah, I don't know. So I remember I had a crowbar.
It's good.
Anyway, they came out and handed out like 10 tickets, and it was funny because all the
it's smart.
But yeah, because then you could just go back later and get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then it was funny because there was all these people lining up, even though they said they only had 10, and then they handed out the tickets, and then all those people left, and some of them waited there for like 2 hours.
They didn't believe it. They were hoping there were 20 or 30.
Yeah, and so I remember I grabbed it. I grabbed Twilight Princess, a couple of extra things. So,
sure. Was that the first system you bought brand new?
That was the first system I bought brand new, and it was on launch day.
Yeah.
And then I got a PS5 when it came out, basically. So otherwise, I've always been like.
Other than that, all your other systems were purchased. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Or I wouldn't say like I bought
Switch.
stuff
Your
brand
Switch
new.
You bought brand new.
Yeah, I shouldn't say I've bought a lot of things brand new, but not when they came out.
Okay.
Always price drops.
Cool.
So yeah. And we got one more for you here.
All right.
Rank the Nintendo home consoles from best to worst.
Oh, come on.
So
like not portable.
So not portable. So there's
Switch is a home console.
Yeah. So there's NES, SNES, N64.
I know the
GameCube, Wii U,
yes,
and Switch.
Yes. Okay. I'm quite aware. So rank them. Okay. So if you're gonna rank something, you have to have variables. Okay. So for me, number one is library, variety within that library, because you have to have games that are gonna appeal to different people in different genres.
But it's your personal preference, though.
Yeah, and it's my personal preference. Okay, so I guess I'll go from the bottom up.
You're gonna go bottom up, okay?
Because that kind of makes sense. And like this is tough. Like I'm very visual, so I like.
Yeah.
I wish I had like little stickers where I could be like.
Okay.
So like basically at the bottom has to be Wii U. And not because it was a bad system, but not a lot of games to play on it. Although you can play the Wii games, but I mean, I'm not going to consider the fact that you can play the Wii games on it. Like I don't want to.
No, like go with that system's library.
I'm just going to say that system's library because otherwise I'd say it's better than the Wii because because Wii can play the GameCube. This is a tough one. Okay, so I'm going to say Wii U at the bottom.
Okay.
Next, I'll go Nintendo 64.
Okay.
Even though I have a lot of fond memories of the system, I feel there's a lot more nostalgia for the system than there is truly like the games are. There actually are a ton of great games on that system, but I think honestly, people, for me anyway, like I've played games on it, I've replayed games, but it just doesn't hold up the way
I feel like it doesn't age well. I also feel like the top 10 games are really good, and then it kind of like.
That's what I mean. Like there's like I like in my collection at home, I've got like 20 or 25 games, and that's it. You know. So yeah. So Wii U, Nintendo 64.
Okay.
And then what we got left there? We got 4 more left. No, we got GameCube, Wii,
NES, SNES, and Switch.
And Switch. Okay. So come on, it's tough. Oh, I'm gonna say.
That's why it's the hot seat.
I'm gonna say. This is where I think your age is gonna like totally factor in because I'm gonna say GameCube.
Okay.
I mean, there's the GameCube. There were a lot of games that started on that system, right? And like, like I'm thinking Pikmin for some reason. Like definitely fantastic. Graphics are great, but personally for me, I prefer other games. On that.
Funny how you've ranked like. Are 2 of our best-selling systems at the store.
Yep, totally.
At the bottom.
It's all backwards.
Yep.
So, okay, so we got Wii U, Nintendo 64, GameCube.
Yeah.
What am I thinking here? Okay. I'm gonna go. What do I got left here?
You got Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Switch, and Wii.
Okay, so Wii is next.
Okay.
Okay, Wii just appeals to everybody.
Yep.
So I think the versatility of the system, the graphics upgrade from the GameCube, it appeals to everybody. Like everything, the motion controls, ton of first party games that are great on that system.
See,
More than GameCube.
I think it got crapped on because they didn't really upgrade it to HD.
Yeah, and that's fair. I get that, but like, you know,
it was a bit better, but
you know, I think it appeals to more people, and it sold like mad, right? So now we got NES, Super, and Switch, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's tough. Okay, like as somebody who's not played a lot of Switch,
you realize they're gonna crucify you in the comments no matter
what. I hope they do. I hope they do. I haven't played a lot of Switch, although I respect the fact that the Switch is an incredible system and is revamped. Nintendo. I'm gonna say Switch is my it's number 3.
Yeah,
and it's probably not correct, but there really is no right or wrong. So
no, it's your opinion.
It's my opinion.
All of your opinions are terrible. So
they don't mean they're all terrible. They're all correct, obviously. So humbly speaking, my opinions are usually correct. So anyway, I'm gonna say Switch, but that's also because I'm new to the Switch personally, and I don't, you know, like I still feel like the earlier Mario games, just as an example, are better than the newer ones. Well, as great as they are and the graphics are great, there's still more to the original games because they were new at the time.
Yeah, but Switch has a great library though. It gets all the retro indie stuff.
I know.
And
I know.
It has those like Mario.
And I know for some people it's their favorite
Breath
system.
Of the Wild.
I get it.
For other people, so
I get it.
Yeah.
And so now I'm left with my two favorite systems, the Nintendo and the Super Nintendo. And I don't want to be cliche here, but I have to, and this hurts me to say this. Joe knows the order I'm going here, so I'm gonna say my number 1 now.
Oh, okay.
Because when I say my number 2, you say number 1. Kind of like in a beauty pageant, you'll be left with 2. You don't say like, "Hey, you're second place. Congratulations." You always go like first. Okay?
You've obviously won a lot of beauty pageants in your time, so you know how it goes.
I've watched so many beauty pageants. I know about beauty pageants. I know the whole. No, obviously not. So wait, we got Wii U, N64, GameCube, Wii, Switch. Okay, number 1 is the Super Nintendo.
Okay.
And number 2 is the NES. And the reason it hurts for me is because I love the NES so dearly and so amazingly.
When you are the NES,
I think the Super Nintendo just blew the NES out of the water in terms of graphics, gameplay. It just built on it. And when I say blew out of the water, it just built on it.
Well, yeah, it was literally like the Super Nintendo. So every game,
giant
Super
games.
version.
So it's hard, right? And I know like not everyone loves the system and doesn't have that. But I was just ranking Nintendo here, so I got to still put Super at the top. Like and I gotta be honest with you, if I was only allowed to keep one system, one library, it'd be the Super Nintendo.
Okay.
And it hurts to say that because like the NES for me is like, you know.
Okay.
So maybe like quickly, what are your?
So I'll do mine quickly because we've kind of given our thoughts on them.
Yeah.
So N64 is at the bottom.
Okay.
Don't like it. Wii U is next. Again, not the most robust library. Few good games.
Yeah.
But so that's where that one lands. Then GameCube, so same spot as yours.
Okay.
Was more of a PS2 original Xbox guy. And then I went with the Wii, so very close to your order. Wii sold a lot, but like my wife's parents have a Wii and they played it 4 times. Like that's why it sold so much. Like,
yeah, that's true.
It was all marketing.
Yeah.
Good games, but yeah, mostly marketing. So then next, this was tough, but I actually went NES.
I knew you were going to say that. Yeah.
Love the NES.
Yeah.
But then I put the Switch slightly ahead just because I think that the volume of good games available on it just exceeds the NES. Like if I'm looking at it like library and then like what am I into right now? And then I went Switch and then I went Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
So we like you were right actually for once.
That was right. I could have switched out Switch and NES, no pun intended.
Yeah.
Because I think if I had been more into the Switch for the last 5 or 6 years, maybe I would be. But
well, and like I crap on the Switch as far as like like how powerful it is relative to like the other systems, but like
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter for
games,
the
that's
games,
what matters.
right?
Who cares if you have the best graphics in the world?
Yeah.
The game sucks. The game sucks.
Yeah. No, it's more the multi-platform games where they're like, oh, it's also on the Switch and it runs terribly, so I won't get that one.
So yeah, it's pretty similar, but there are some differences. That was another good question. You these are really good questions.
Yeah. Come on, man. What do you expect here?
I don't know. I was expecting to be like, what's your favorite?
So when we do this again and you ask me 5 questions, they better be good.
Wow.
Although I had like I got to go first, so I get to pick
I have a couple. Stuff. I have a couple.
Okay.
So we'll do this again next time, and it'll be me asking you questions.
Okay.
All right.
Awesome. And so let us know your answers to some of these questions in the comments.
Please rank them. Let us know what the correct order is, because
I want to know
we're close.
I want to know the correct order for the consoles and the Mega Mans for sure.
Yeah.
Please.
For sure.
Please rank those for us.
All right. Take care, guys. Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
I'm pretty humble, except when it comes to how amazing I am.
Yeah. Then you're good.